Welcome to Innovation Israel, the show that brings you the latest news and cutting-edge achievements directly from Tel Aviv, the heart of the startup nation. On today's show, we'll meet Home Hero, a real estate startup that aims to revolutionize the home buying market. And we'll take a sneak peek into the Cybertech conference in Tel Aviv. But first, a few headlines coming out of Israel. And what a great headline to kick off our first show. Israel was recently named the 5th most innovative economy in the world, according to Bloomberg's Annual Innovation Index, which was published on Tuesday. Now, in its 7th year, the annual index gave Israel the number 5 slot out of 60 economies, bumping up the small country 5 spots from its number 10 ranking last year. The 4 countries ahead of Israel in order of their ranking are South Korea, followed by Germany, Finland, and Switzerland. Israel even surpassed the United States, which came in 8th, and Singapore, which ranked in 6th. The annual Bloomberg Innovation Index analyzes dozens of criteria using 7 metrics, including research and development spending, manufacturing capability, and concentration of high-tech public companies. Computer giant Intel announced this week that it will invest around $11 billion in a new plant, significantly expanding its operations in Israel. This was hailed as an unprecedented decision by Finance Minister Moshe Kahlon. Intel established a presence in Israel in 1974, and today the company employs over 10,000 people. The company already has a number of plants in Israel, including in Kiryat Gat in the south and in Yakum, as well as R&D centers in Jerusalem, Petah Tikva, and Haifa. Israeli startup Refundit, which aims to revolutionize the tax-free shopping process for tourists, won the first prize of the World Tourism Organization Travel Tech Competition this past week in Madrid. Over 2,700 companies from 132 countries participated in the competition, which sought out startups that provide innovative solutions that can change the global tourism industry. Refundit was founded by Israeli entrepreneur Uri Levin. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he is the co-founder of the popular Waze navigation app that sold to Google in 2013 for over $1 billion. He set up the new startup together with Ziv Tirosh, who is now the company's CEO. Refundit aims to simplify the really complicated method of getting VAT refunds so that tourists will no longer have to file complicated paperwork and stand in line right before their flights. Investments in Israel's cybersecurity industry exceeded $1 billion for the first time in 2018, according to a new report published by Startup Nation Central, which tracks Israel's high-tech industry. According to the report, by the end of 2018, there were 450 active cybersecurity companies operating in Israel, which raised a total of $1.19 billion last year, a 47% increase from 2017, marking a 4th record-breaking year of investments. What's more, the reports show that only U.S. cybersecurity companies surpass Israel's growing cyber industry, which takes 20% of venture-backed cyber investments worldwide. The report comes just as Tel Aviv is hosting the 2019 Cybertech conference with the participation of more than 150 delegations from around the world who have come together in Israel to learn all about the latest innovations to combat global cyber threats. Israel Innovation went down to take a look at the conference and check out some of the latest tech. Let's take a look. I'm here with Yochai Korem from Cyberbit. He's the Vice President of the Middle East, Asia, and Europe and Africa. Right. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what Cyberbit does?
Okay, excellent. Cyberbit is an Israeli company focusing on cybersecurity, of course, and cyber tech. And we're doing security on critical infrastructure and banking sector, etc. Maybe one of the most interesting topics we're handling is the lack of cyber knowledge. So if you go to any organization, they're always seeking for good cyber talents, and it's very hard to find. Actually, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, you know exactly where to go to study. But cybersecurity is not that clear where you go to study. There's a big gap in the market in cyber education. So what Cyberbit does, we've created the cyber training and innovation centers that we are building around the world, allowing people to go and learn how to be a cybersecurity professional and have actually a profession. And also help organizations who already have cybersecurity people that need to go through training on a yearly basis. So think of a pilot that even though they are not crashing the planes every year, right, hopefully, you still feel very safe on how you fly with them because they will know to identify a security incident or an engine cut off or something like that. How can we let people save our data, right? Protect our data when they're not practicing on a yearly basis or half-yearly basis how to identify cyber attack and how to handle that? Most people don't see cyber attacks on a daily manner, so we are providing a real physical environment where they can actually handle cybersecurity incident, but not on their own. So let the incident happen somewhere else and practice what to do with it.
So I see here something called a cyber range. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the cyber range is actually the platform we're establishing in different places around the world. We have in the US, I think, like 7 cyber training centers already using the cyber range platform. It's a real network, full environment with all the tools one would find in a real corporate network. And then we have an automatic attack machine that attacks, emulates a real attacker that attacks, ransomware, encrypts the environment, or try to collect data. And then we put teams that actually trying to handle those situations, learn technically, operational, how to work as a team together, how to update, how to report to the management, hey, we have a crisis, what do we do? And actually enable those skills and capabilities to be updated with the employees in the company.
So basically you simulate cyber attacks, train potential cyber professionals?
Yeah, so we have students in university that are using this as the cyber laboratory as part of the computer science degree. So they are finishing the university with real hands-on experience how to handle cybersecurity incidents, or professionals that already in the industry that needs continuous up-to-date training. So it's not that we simulate attacks, we actually put real attacks, it's real ransomware, it really encrypts the network, and then you also end the psychological situation where it's encrypted, what do you do, the stress, and people make mistakes in these situations, which is great for training, because you want the mistakes to happen, just not on your environment.
Great, well, thank you so much for speaking with us. So I'm here with Gilad Peri from Triple Cyberness. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Okay, so in Triple Cyber, we actually developed a very interactive awareness training, employee awareness training on using virtual reality. The nice thing that we've seen, and you can actually see it behind me, is that unfortunately awareness training is boring, but we tried making it fun and interactive. And using virtual reality, we actually can capture an employee full attention. We go for 10 minutes, they go through various scenarios. So what we've done, we've built cyber awareness and various scenarios in which you as an organization want to focus on. So the employee sits, goes through that training, he needs to answer questions, he goes through a whole process of very interactive engagement, follows answers, and at the end result we actually can see how the employees did because the VR is actually capturing all the metadata about, and then we can fine-tune the training, understand where we need to emphasize in order to improve the training.
So this is for sort of a general employees in a company, someone who doesn't necessarily have a lot of background in cyber tech.
Correct, it can be both. Like today the challenge is that still 90% of infections are a result of human error. And it's still the most common that someone clicked on a document, clicked on a link, and you essentially expose yourself. So increasing awareness is the first element of defense. So we've run this for organizations, tens of thousands of employees, and we have people as similar to here actually lining up and wanting to go through the training versus half the time where people are actually going through a presentation but doing something else.
Can I try it?
Of course, we'll be happy to let you try it.
Let's go, let's try. So I'm going to try virtual reality cyber training. Let's see. I'm here with Lotem Guy from the founding team of CyberReason. We see a really long line for your booth, so why don't you tell us a little bit about CyberReason?
So CyberReason is an Israeli cybersecurity company. We help large organizations, big enterprise and governmental organizations to protect themselves against the emerging threats of cyber.
And so how do you do that?
So we're deployed inside the organization. So we collect a lot of information that is coming from the normal activity of the employees of the company, of the servers, that are part of the infrastructure of the company. And we're able to analyze this huge amount of data to determine when something goes wrong, when a malicious actor is starting doing things and trying to get to their targets, basically. And we detect that, and we also provide the information that allows our customers to respond and remediate the attack. So hopefully we can do all of that in a very fast time before any damage is done.
And who are some of your clients? I understand that you're worldwide.
Correct. We're operated globally. Our major market is in the US, North America, but we operate also in Japan and in Europe, Africa, Asia, around the globe. We have a lot of companies from all different sectors, so finance sectors, but also the manufacturing and governmental agencies. So really all type of sectors, because everyone needs to protect themselves today.
And what are some of the major threats that you are seeing?
So we see a lot of kind of commodity attack, things that are not very hard to fight against, but we also see the more sophisticated targeted attacks. And actually, as we speak now, our team is fighting against a Chinese group that attacked one of our customers, and it's a kind of a cat and mouse fight, because we stop them, they come back from a different door with different tools, different techniques, and we stop them again, and it's like, it takes them time until they decide that they can quit and start trying to attack someone else, because this organization is now protected.
So you have your work set out for you. Lotem Guy, thank you very much for talking with us.
Well, I hope you enjoy the sneak peek into the CyberTech Conference Tel Aviv. Until next time. Also at the CyberTech Conference were a number of speakers from around the world, including Igal Una, the Director General of the Israel National Cyber Directorate, and of course, Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's take a look at some of their remarks.
We, as the National Cyber Directorate, we take a good look of these technologies and how to broaden the definition of cybersecurity in order to mitigate with all these new attack surfaces. The Israeli Directorate mission, as stated here, is first of all, and by all means, the major mission, is to secure Israel's cyberspace against any of the attacks. We get the first signals of an epidemic, and cyber attacks are many times epidemic. The first signals of cyber attacks, and we can identify patient zero and contain the outbreak as soon as it begins. As we share information, as we share knowledge with one another, we are on the upper hand against the bad guys. They also share information, so we must. It's not a nice to have, it's a must have. And we have the platform on a national level, and we're offering it to build it international. On global partnership, and this is a major part of our mission, of our philosophy, of making partnerships and international partnerships, because no single agency on a national level and no single country on the international level can achieve cybersecurity on the highest level by itself. So, global partnerships. Today, I am proud to say that we're having direct relations with more than 70 countries. Not only countries, also with NGOs, such as the World Bank, with the International Monetary Fund.
This revolution that you're seeing from 2007 to 2017 is a revolution that is changing our world both economically and in terms of security. I think it'll also change our politics. And what it is basically the meeting ground between big data, IT, and connectivity. Everything is being driven from this nexus. Everything. For example, new industries are being formed. What's the first new industry that's being formed? It's right here in this room. It's the cybersecurity industry. Israel is 1/10 of 1% of the world's population, and we are receiving 20% of the global share in private cybersecurity investments. That's 200 times our weight in the world. What this revolution is doing, big data, AI, and connectivity, is allowing small countries to be big countries. It depends if you have the brains and the system to create conceptual products at an accelerated rate, conceptual products that are at the cutting edge and give you a competitive advantage. If you do this conceptual mousetrap, the world definitely beats a path to your door. There's no question about it. Cybertech reflects a policy. It reflects the fact that cybersecurity is not merely here to stay, it's going to grow exponentially. And it reflects the fact that what we have to do is to take certain risks and allow the graduates of our security services to merge into companies with local partners and foreign partners. Any country can be attacked today with cyber attacks, and every country needs the combination of a national cyber defense effort and a robust cybersecurity industry. And I think Israel has that, and has that in ways that are, in many ways, unmatched. Every single country here, in Israel's expanding diplomatic horizons, is talking to us about cyber. They all want to share in our knowledge of cyber defense. That doesn't mean that we share with everyone, and it doesn't mean that we share equally with those that we share. But we do have a general policy of cooperation between governments, and we have a general policy of cooperation with companies.
So joining me is our guest, Aviv Galton, the co-founder of Home Hero. Founded in 2017, this young company uses state-of-the-art technology to connect real estate sellers and buyers and accompanies the transaction until it's closed. So Aviv, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's jump right in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Home Hero and what exactly you do?
So similarly to traditional services that have been disrupted and provided us consumers great services like taxis, where Uber changed the world, travel agencies where Expedia and Booking changed the world. We are trying to make a much better experience and a more efficient process for real estate, where you want to buy or sell a property. So Home Hero eventually is an online real estate platform that takes the complex process of buying and selling properties and makes it an easy, efficient, safe, and even cheaper process.
Okay, so how did the idea for the startup take shape?
Actually, my partner and co-founder, Shai Spiegelblatt, a few years ago bought a property in Ra'anana, and he used a traditional real estate agent, and he was extremely frustrated from the process. He was paying a lot, 2% commission plus VAT, something like 80,000 shekels, for a very poor service, which is very much not advanced technologically. So he came to me. We were, evaluating how we can change this industry, and we came up with this idea.
Great. And so, what are some of sort of the challenges facing the real estate agency that you hope to provide? Solutions that you hope to provide.
So we've done a lot of surveys, both in Israel and out of Israel, and we found that there is a huge pain. Buyers and sellers are suffering from a lack of transparency in the process. They feel they don't control the largest investment or acquisition in their life. There is no reliable in the information they get, and the process is not efficient. If you want to sell or buy today a property, you have two options. You either go to the online boards in Israel, like Yad 2, where you are drowning into huge lists of properties. Some of them have pictures, some don't.
Right.
Most of the information there is inaccurate. And at the end of the day, you call someone and you find that this property is
it's no longer relevant, right?
Right. The other option is to go to the traditional agent, where, like I said, you would probably have, in the best case, a medium kind of service. You would pay 2% commission, which is huge on a transaction, and he would not be able to provide you with everything that you need. We've taken both of these worlds, combined them into a hybrid platform, and unlike previous startups that tried to completely dismiss the agent, we're actually reinventing him and allowing him to do what only he needs to do, which is to negotiate a deal.
Okay, so why don't you walk us through the process? Let's say that I'm a buyer, I come onto your site. What exactly will I see, and what services exactly do you provide?
Sure. So if you go to the website, you would see a large variety of properties. Each of the properties we take virtual tours in, so you can actually sit, at home on your iPad and walk in the property in a 3D tour. You have also professional stills pictures. One thing that we do, which others don't do, is we have a legal due diligence on each of the properties that we list in order to give you confidence that that property is legally verified. We would provide a lot of layers of information, education, transportation, and of course prices, historical prices in the neighborhood. We give you all the information you need, and when you like the property, you can either call the agent, which is representing that property, and he will take you to the visit, or you can book yourself in an online meeting tool, and you schedule your own visit at the property.
So schedule my own visit by just one click.
The click of a button, yeah.
Okay. And so let's say I've done that, I've found a property that I like, I've scheduled an appointment, I come and see the property, then what happens?
So you would meet our local expert, because like I said, we believe that the human touch, the human expert, is required in a transaction like that. So you would meet an expert, which is our expert, and he would show you the property, and if you like the property and you want to enter into negotiations, then that's his job. He will do this for you.
Okay, and then he accompanies you until the transaction is closed and
Absolutely.
I bought my first house.
All right.
Great. Okay, and so why don't you tell me what stage is the startup in today?
So we started in mid-17, launched our product just about 6 months ago. We're having great traction in Israel. We already passed $300 million worth of inventory under our exclusive management. Buyers and sellers love it here. I mean, we are, buying and selling properties for them in the last few months, getting great feedback. And obviously, Israel is a very interesting market, but we're going to expand into Europe in 2019, this year actually.
Okay, and so where exactly are you planning to expand to in Europe?
We haven't decided yet finally, but it's going to be one of the, big countries in Europe.
And then after that, the rest of the world, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Great. Well, Aviv, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
Great. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank the amazing startup that joined us today. Remember to follow us on Facebook at Israel English News, on Twitter at ILTV News, and on our website at iltv.tv. I'm Ladar Gavelazi. Thanks for watching.